A busy street in the heart of downtown Holland went on lockdown last night after reports of a man threatening police with a gun. And today we learned that suspect is a former police officer. Mark Armstrong is now charged. He was a 26-year veteran of the Wyoming Police Department, fired from the force in 2011. 24 News 8's Joe LaFurgie is live in Holland, where Armstrong was arraigned just a short time ago. Joe.
Yeah, Marley, it is one thing for police to confront a man with a gun, but officers had a whole other set of concerns in Holland. A Street, as you can see right now and was last night, is a very busy street. The police here had to lock it down and work for a peaceful resolution. And they got that resolution around 10 Thursday night. Today, one-time Wyoming police officer, 55-year-old Mark Armstrong, was charged with 2 counts of assaulting a police officer and using a firearm in the commission of a felony.
Based upon the nature of the charge, I'm going to set bond in the amount of $30,000 cash or surety.
It was Mark Armstrong's former employer, Wyoming Police, who first got the call for help. Armstrong had made threats to an ex-girlfriend and others in the day. A relative of Armstrong's was concerned the one-time Wyoming PD, seen here in an interview with 24-hour News 8, might be suicidal. A relative found Armstrong's car in a downtown Holland parking lot. HPD officers arrived and waited. When Armstrong appeared, he reportedly was angry and pointed a gun at officers. Even though they were faced with an armed gunman, Holland officers did not fire.
When the suspect fled on foot, the downtown area was very busy at that time. People with a nice night were out on patios, etc. So it could have been much worse.
Instead, a number of businesses, including New Holland Brewing, were placed on lockdown. No one was let out. Officers tracked Armstrong to a parking lot, and after talking with him for about a half hour, he gave himself up. No shots were fired. Today, Wyoming police confirm Armstrong's 26-year career on the force ended in November of 2011 when he was fired for violation of rules and regulations. Wyoming police would not give details surrounding the firing. And if Armstrong can raise the bond to try to get out of money, he'll still have to undergo a mental health evaluation before he is let out of jail. Marley?
Now, Joe, you recently took an in-depth look at the effect of post-traumatic stress disorder on police officers. Now, could that have played a role in this case?
Well, obviously, Marley, this will be up to a mental health professional to determine that in the end. But one thing I found is don't jump to conclusions, especially when it comes to talking about PTSD among emergency workers. And the one thing I found when we talked to experts while doing that piece is that police officers and other emergency responders are generally protectors. That's in their nature. They want to protect people. They don't want to hurt people. So oftentimes it would be extremely rare for something like this to enter into one of those cases. But again, that'll be up to mental health professionals to evaluate whether mental health played any role in this latest case.
Definitely a lot to consider. Scary situation that was last night. Thanks, Joe.